Welcome guys to your NFL Week 3 recap. We start off with the Thursday night game. The Panthers versus the Texans. Sam Darnold got his 2 touchdowns in this game. And then it was 7-6 in the third. Zing gets a field goal to make it 6-17. Then another field goal for the 17-6. The field goal was for the Panthers. 17-9 for the Texans, a field goal to make it 17-19. Mill gets the second and goal in the game. Then it was 24-9 to the Panthers. Going on to the Sunday games, the big game of the weekend of this Sunday was the Rams, Matthew Stafford versus Brady. The two teams that I think is going to make the playoffs this season. That's going to be in the Super Bowl, or definitely in the Super Bowl in my opinion. Definitely the Buccaneers, and even the Rams. They got to be, if it's got to be in their home stadium. So we had a touchdown from Tyler from make it 0-7. Then we had a Cup make it 7-7 in the second. Godwin makes it gets a touchdown in the third to make it 14-28. Brady has a first and goal in the third to make it 14-21. Then a field goal in the third to make it 14-31. Then a field goal for the Rams in the fourth to make it 17-34. Bernard gets a touchdown in the fourth to make it 24-34. And that's how the game ended. It was a really good game. I think kind of one of my favorite games of the weekend was this Rams Buccaneers game. I really was it was just a good game. We had the Chargers, Patrick Mahomes. We had the Chiefs versus the Chargers, Mahomes versus the Chargers. We had the first, it was 6-0 to the Chargers, 14-0 in the second. Going into the third, we had 14-16 in the third to 21-17. We had a touchdown, 30-24 to the Chargers. The Chargers beat Mahomes. 2 weeks in a row that Mahomes has lost. He lost to Lamar Jackson last week. This week he's lost to the Chargers. The next game is Dolphins versus Raiders. The Dolphins intercepted the first to make it 7-0. Then Malcolm gets a touchdown. Malcolm Brown gets a touchdown. It's 14-0 going into the second. 14-2 into the third. Carson gets a field goal in the second. 14-5. It's a touchdown for the Raiders in the second. 14-12. 14-19 in the third. And then it was a 28-28 in the overtime. 25-25 in the 28-28 in the overtime. We had a field goal from the Dolphins, and the Raiders come back with a field goal, and it's 31-28. It was a really good game, and the Raiders get a win. Then we have the Ravens versus the Lions, and the Lions thought they could win, finally get their first win of the season. And they have a field goal, and they think that they've won it. It's 16-17 in the fourth, and they're like, we need to get this field goal, and it hits the crossbar, and it doesn't. The goal doesn't stand. Then the Ravens get a field goal, and they win 16-17. They win. 16-17, and then the Ravens got a field goal and won the game, and the Ravens they're not losing to Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. The Lions are in transition. They lost a lot of key people, a lot of key people this season. And Kenny Galladay, Matthew Stafford has gone to Rams, so Dan Campbell's the new head coach. So you got a lot of rebuilding to do in this front office and organization of the Lions. Then we go to another just a bad run organization, and that is the Chicago Bears, and they was facing the Browns. This game ended 26-6. It should have been more. The Browns should have really been out of sight in this game, but it's 3-0 in the first. Then Khalil Mack sacks Mayfield in the first. We get a touchdown. The touchdown for Mayfield. A touchdown pass from Mayfield to Hooper in the third to make it 3-10. In the second, it was a field goal to the Browns to make it 3-3. 3-13 and 10 with field goal to the Browns. 6-13 to the 6-13. The Bears get a field goal for in the third. Then in the fourth, it was 6-20. Hunt with the touchdown, and they had a field goal to get to 20 and that was it. And that game, like I said, 6-26. Typical kind of Bears, toxic, bad. And Matt Nagy has to be fired. He has to be. I don't want to hear these Bears fans say, "No, we'll wait till the end of the season." If you want to act like a big organization, you have to act now. And this man is not going to make the Bears any better. It's proven before with people like Trubisky, with all these young quarterbacks he's had like Trubisky, and now he's doing Fields. Fields isn't going to get any better under Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy needs to go for Justin Fields, because Justin Fields is the only important thing of the Bears this season. It doesn't matter about if you win a game against the Bengals, because the Bengals were bad. You've got two bad coaches that were coaching last week. You've got the Browns that maybe, if they get their shit together, they could maybe be in the playoffs this season. If they get their shit together, and if they can actually beat better teams, it's okay being the Bears, because the Bears are trash. The Bears are garbage. They need to prove themselves against the Buccaneers or the Rams or the Chiefs and see if they can be contenders for a Super Bowl. Can they lift that trophy come February and win the first Super Bowl of the organization? Who knows? But they need to get better, the Browns. And for the Bears, fire Matt Nagy. Then we had the Cardinals versus the Jets. It was 7-7 in the second, a touchdown pass to Lawrence. In the third, it was 23-17. 23-17. The game ended 23-17 goal. And then the final score was 31. Cardinals 19, Jags. Then we have the Falcons versus the Giants. 0-6 to the Giants in the first. The Giants had a first and down in the second with Galladay, a field goal, and a touchdown for Barkley to make it in the fourth to make it 7-12, and then Jones made it 7-14, and in the game, Lee Smith had a touchdown in the fourth to make it 14-14. Then the Falcons got a touchdown to make it 17-14. Then we have Jameis Winston's Packs. Not the Pats. Jameis Winston's Saints versus the Patriots. The first we get a 7-0 in the first. Second is 14-0. A touchdown is 21-3 from Malcolm in the third. Still, and then it's 21-6 because Bourne gets the touchdown in the fourth to make it 21-13 to end that game. So Jameis Winston gets a win over the Pats, and that's the first time I think it was the first time the Saints head coach has actually the Saints coach has actually beaten the Packers. Then we had the Seahawks Def lose to the Vikings in this game, 7-7 in the first. In the second, it was a 10-7 field goal. Chris Carson got a touchdown to 17-7 in the second, 17-14 touchdown to Adam. In the second, Miles misses a field goal in the second. A third goal for Jefferson, a third touchdown for Jefferson in the third to make it 17-21. 17-27 in the fourth, and the Vikings win 17-24. Then we have the Bills versus Washington. 0-7 for Trubisky's Bills in the first. Second touchdown goes to Moss. 0-14 going into the second, going into the third. 0-21. 7-21 in the second touchdown to Gibson. Field goal for Gills. 14-27. 14-21. Well, 14-27 was in the second. Sorry about that, guys. It was 14-27 in the second, and then we had going into the third. We had 21. 14. Yeah, I'm just looking at my notes, guys. 14-24. The Bills defeated the Washington. Then this game, the Jets are just. They didn't even have a touchdown in this game. It was 26-0 in this game. Not much to talk about in this game. And then we have then we have the Bangles versus the Steelers. We have a 7-0. The Bengals get a sack in the second, a touchdown for the Steelers. Then we had a 7-6 in the second, a touchdown by Chase. 14-17 to 17-17. In the third we get a field goal, so it's 17-7 in the third. A field goal. Chase in this game got 2 touchdowns in this game, which he had a good game with 2 touchdowns. In the third, it was 24-7 to the Bengals, and that's how the game ended. The Steelers, they won 1? Did they win 1 or win 2? I've got to go back to last week's video, and the Bengals, Bengals had it was like 2 bad teams last week with the Bears and the Bengals, and this week they come back with a 24-7 win. Then we have the Colts versus the Titans. 0-7 for the Titans. Rodgers gets a touchdown for the Titans. The Colts make it 7-7. Then a field goal for the Titans. In second to make it 7-13 to the Titans. Then a 43-yard Colts third down field goal. No, third. In the third, we get a Colts field goal to make it 10-14 to the Titans. And it's 16-22 with a field goal in the fourth. The third was 13-14, 13-22, and then in the fourth it was 16-22 to the Titans. And then we have last night's game. If I'm looking at keep looking down at my knee, is because I have my notes that I take for all the games. So I'm gonna look at all the notes and everything I took in the game. But whatever. We have the Eagles versus the Cowboys. Dak Prescott's Eagles. Cowboys. What the hell did I say? Eagles. Why the hell did I just say Eagles? Dak Prescott's Cowboys versus the Eagles. It was 0-7 in the first with Elliott with a touchdown for the Cowboys. It was 7-7. Dak Prescott loses the football in his own half. And then the Eagles get a touchdown from that to make it 7-7 in the first. Then it goes 7-14 to 7-20 in the second. Touchdown for the Eagles for Zach in the third. 14-41 field goal. Prescott got sacked in this game in the third. 7-27 interception from the Cowboys on the third, and then the game ended 14-34 to the Cowboys.